Welcome back, fellow financial enthusiasts and wealth builders. Our wealth quote today comes from Mark Yusko in July of 2023. The monetary value of gold is about 6 trillion. I think Bitcoin can replace all of that. The monetary equivalent of 6 trillion is about a 10x from here, which gives us a price of about 300K. Today we are going to hear from two different interviews with Mark Yusko, who is always an entertaining, engaging guest. The first is from an interview on Altcoin Daily in a segment on investing, and the second is an interview with Lark Davis on why he believes Bitcoin should be a part of everyone's portfolio. Be sure to watch the clip of the second interview as Yusko explains the history of money and why we are caught in a system that rewards the super wealthy and the people closest to the money printer. Let's listen to Yusko's tips on going from 0 to 100K.
So do what's hard. And what's hard in investing and going from 0 to 100K is getting started. Oh, I don't have $1,000 to invest. You don't need 1,000. Start with 5, start with 10. And in today's day and age, it's a lot easier. 99.9% are not going to trade their way to the 100K. They're just not. Trading is really, really hard. And most people are really bad at it because human beings, we buy what we wish we would have bought. So we buy it after it goes up and we sell what we're about to need. So we sell it after the loss. And we do that over and over and over and we negative compound. And that's the wrong way to do it. One, invest in what you know, right? If you know a lot about technology, invest in technology. If you know a lot about biotechnology, invest in biotechnology. When people say it rots your brain, buy it. Because they said, computers will rot your brain, video games will rot your brain. Now we got psychedelics. Oh, it's going to get. There's a lot of great applications for psychedelics in medicine. So there's all kinds of things, but you got to be early and you got to be willing literally to lose it all, but keep it small, right? In that get rich bucket, right? And going from 0 to 100 is about getting rich. It's not about staying rich, it's about getting rich. Concentrated bets, small, because there's a bell curve. And on the left-hand tail are the zeros. And if you don't have zeros, you're not doing it right. You got to have zeros. You got to have things where you put the money in and it literally goes away, because if it can't go to 0, it can't go up 10 times or 20 times or 100 times. Find the craziest thing people are talking about and buy little pieces of it. And then don't watch it incessantly, right? Don't agonize over it. Keep trying to find the new ideas. And as long as your new idea funnel is really high and you keep throwing stuff in, eventually some good stuff's going to pop out the bottom. And the ones that go away, don't obsess about them.
Next, we have a section on the history of money and why we all need Bitcoin. Over the years, Bitcoin has gained popularity as a store of value. With its decentralized nature and limited supply of 21 million coins, many of those already lost, it has become a preferred choice for individuals seeking to preserve and grow their wealth. Unlike traditional currencies, which can be subject to inflation and government control, Bitcoin offers a decentralized store of value that can be accessed and transferred easily while also maintaining a high level of security when you know what you're doing. In addition to being a store of value, Bitcoin has the potential to revolutionize the concept of sovereign money. As a decentralized digital currency, it operates independently of any central authority. Now let's listen to Mark Yusko's explanation on how money has evolved and why he thinks we all need Bitcoin.
Governments devalue their currency to get out of debt. And every empire in the history of empires, from the Portuguese Empire, Portugal, little tiny Portugal, the size of Indiana, had the world reserve currency and was the most powerful place on the planet in the 1400s. Then Spain took them over, and then the Rothschilds created the first central bank and took over, then France took over Spain. Then the Rothschilds, again, about the size of, Nevada, took over France and Napoleon. How the hell did that happen? Money. They could create money out of thin air because they created the first central bank. Then half the Rothschilds went to England, set up the Bank of England, and then they had the most powerful navy because they could print money out of thin air. And then we, in 1913, took a page out of that. The Fed is neither federal nor has any reserves. It is a private institution owned by European families and banks. And its sole job is to enrich the bankers and the people at the top of the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. That's its job. And here's the thing. Once you do the research on the Knights Templar and the Order of Christ, everywhere you look, there's that little cross. Everywhere you look, in our money, in our monuments, in the sidewalks, everywhere you look, there's on the ships of Portugal, everywhere you look. So it's been going on for 1,000 years. And what Bitcoin does, it blows this whole thing up. And so people are really unhappy about that. And I get it. Like Venezuela, there has never been a bear market in Bitcoin in Venezuela. The price has only gone up. Why? Because again, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't change. It doesn't grow. It doesn't get more efficient. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get worse. It just is. It's the perfect thing. But we price it not in Bitcoin. We price it in dollars, in yen, in euros, in bolivars, in Turkish lira. Never been a bear market in Turkey. Never been a bear market in Argentinian pesos. I had a friend just posted, and he was down there, and in the week he was down there, the peso went down 5%. In 1 week.
Insane.
Down 5%. So in that world where governments get over indebted and can't pay the debt back, and they devalue their currency, that is a theft of yours and my wealth, and everyone listening to this, of our wealth to the people at the top through this nonsense called inflation. We don't need inflation. From 1776 to 1913, a dollar was worth $1. Does anyone know why it's called a dollar? It was the Rijksdollar in Holland, where the Rothschilds were. And we said, oh, we'll just take the dollar. And that's why we called it a dollar, because we were in bed with the Rothschilds, like everybody else. And my favorite stat on that, the Rothschild family. Now, it's a big-ass family. There's a lot of Rothschilds in the world. I probably shouldn't piss them off. But their wealth, one family, their wealth is equal to the bottom 6 billion people on the planet.
Unreal. But that's the power of owning the money.
Of course, owning the money. And now everyone listening to this can own their own money. We can be self-sovereign banks. And people are like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, well, of course you want to do that. Not with all your money, because we still have to function in the places we choose to live, at least for now. And we want to spend in fiat and buy in fiat, but for the core of our wealth, we should have it in this asset that appreciates as other assets devalue. Just simple.
Thank you for joining us today in this discussion on building wealth with Bitcoin. We've explored the importance of diversification, education, and a long-term perspective in your investment journey. This isn't financial advice. Remember, building wealth takes time, knowledge, and careful consideration. Always do your own research, keep learning about investing, Bitcoin, and wealth, and share your insights below. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and join the Bitcoin Edge for more financial wisdom.